What if your next Battlefield match felt like an RPG draft? 100 precious points in your pocket, every scope or suppressor a budget-breaking decision, and halfway through the round, the map shouted, "Lowest scoring squad, you're out." Sounds wild, right? Stick around because the leak circling Battlefield 6 suggests that DICE is aiming for exactly that experience, and I'm about to break it all down. First, the obvious disclaimer. Everything you're about to hear comes from data-mined builds and earnings call breadcrumbs. Until EA throws an official trailer our way, treat this like that friend who swears they saw Bigfoot. Credible enough to get excited, but don't pre-order your night vision goggles just yet. Now let's warm up with the comfort food. Conquest, Rush, Breakthrough, Team Deathmatch, yep, they're all in the files. No surprises there. But tucked alongside the classics is Sabotage, a mode that tasks attackers with blowing up key assets, while defenders scramble to keep the lights on. Think Bad Company 2's MCOM stations, but with today's destruction, physics dialed to 11. Will you need to plant charges, or just drive a tank through the wall? The files don't say, so feel free to argue about that in the comments, politely of course. Then we've got Escalation, sometimes labeled Raid. Capture 3 objectives and the round ends right there. Momentum matters, blink and the enemy can lock the map before you finish the layout of weapons and the character. Strike Point stretches the tension across multiple rounds as teams joust over a single high-value location, while Payload does exactly what the name implies. Escort the rolling bomb farther and faster than the other guys. Fans built a similar mode in Battlefield 2042's Portal, so it looks like DICE noticed the community's handiwork. Nice work, modders. You may have just influenced a flagship mode. Prototype modes get even weirder. File names reference Tank Hunt, hello, tank superiority vibes, Touchdown, Tug of War, and the Head Scratcher, Fantastic Four Survive. These could be cut content, internal experiments, or full releases. Nobody outside the studio knows. But leak culture rule number 1 is hope tempered by caution, so keep those expectations on a short leash. Where things leap off the rails is a brand new experience called Gauntlet. Picture a mini tournament on the Battle Royale map. Each round, squads tackle bite-sized objectives, heist, extraction, relay, rodeo, you name it. And after every mission, the lowest scorers are kicked to the lobby. Last squad standing takes the crown. It's a pinch of the finals, a dash of Warzone's gulag, and a generous scoop of Battle Royale chaos. Oh, and the leaked location? Sunny California. Because nothing says tactical elimination games, like beachfront property. All of this is being tested under the Battlefield Labs banner, EA's new player-powered incubator that invites thousands of fans to hammer on pre-alpha builds and yell back their feedback. Think of it as an open kitchen. We watch the chef experiment, and if the soup's too salty, we say so before it hits the menu. EA has 4 studios on the project and calls this their most ambitious Battlefield yet. Ambition shows up in the guns, too. Instead of the old slap whatever you want system, every primary weapon reportedly comes with 100 customization points. Attach a lightweight barrel for 10 points, maybe a 10-point red dot, but spend 55 on a massive LMG magazine, and suddenly you've only got scraps left for a grip. Community stat wizard Sorrow pulled values straight from the code. Muzzle brakes can run you 30 points, thermals 25, and exotic ammo, like armor-piercing ballistic rounds, cost a hefty 20 because they jack headshot multipliers from 1.35 all the way to 2.1. In other words, high risk, high reward, and a loadout that actually forces trade-offs instead of the usual equip everything purple. Here's a quick mental exercise. Imagine you're building an assault rifle class for urban conquest. Do you burn 25 points on that fancy switchable 1-4 by scope, or save them for a bipod integrated grip that might let you beam foes off a rooftop? Tough call, and that's exactly the point. I'm betting this system finally makes sidearms interesting too, because pistols reportedly get only 60 points. With the right combo, you can create a 2-headshot kill hand cannon, but you'll sacrifice optics and thermals. Tell me you're not already cooking up pocket sniper memes. Now timing. EA's CEO Andrew Wilson told investors the next Battlefield will ship before March 31st, 2026, the end of their fiscal year 26. So yes, we might be waiting a bit, but that window gives DICE room to polish the thing instead of rushing another 2042 situation. And in case you missed the internal shakeup, Respawn co-founder Vince Zampella is overseeing the franchise. The guy helped birth Call of Duty and Apex Legends. If anyone understands balancing gunplay with spectacle, it's him. Why the extended dev cycle? Sources inside EA say they want this to be the biggest Battlefield we've ever built, which tracks with the lab's approach and the multi-studio collaboration. Newsweek even ran the quote in February, calling the project EA's largest shooter to date. Bigger isn't always better, just ask anyone who tried to capture Breakaway's oil rig at launch. But a longer runway beats a crash landing every time. So where does that leave us, the trigger-happy faithful? Personally, I'm cautiously hyped. The sound design in early builds reportedly slaps, and the new attachment math could finally kill the meta of just copy the streamer loadout. Gauntlet sounds like a content creator's dream, constant high-stakes rounds, instant replay value, but I'm curious whether it'll siphon players from classic modes or complement them. Alright, your turn. Which attachment would you splurge on with your 100-point budget, and which prototype mode sounds like your next addiction? Drop your loadout dreams and hot takes below. I read every comment, and the best ideas make it into future videos. Just ask Alex, who predicted Payload 2 months ago, and is now 3 for 3 on Leak Bingo. If you learned something new, punch that subscribe button, gently, nobody likes drift, and join this growing platoon on our push to 60K. Hit the bell so YouTube actually tells you when the next intel dump lands. Until then, keep your mags topped, your points counted, and I'll catch you in the next one.